Joined now by crowdfunding expert Kendall Almarico. He's a CEO of FundHub.biz, an equity and crowdfunding compliance website, founder of Crowd Forward, a charity-based crowdfunding site, and CEO of ClickStartMe, a site providing hands-on crowdfunding assistance. Well, Ken, you are the crowdfunding man. So great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And explain the story for me. We've got this guy, Zach Brown in Columbus, around 4th of July saying, hey, I feel like having a potato salad, goes online and asks friends to pledge $10 so he can buy the ingredients of a potato salad, and fast forward a week later, he's got around 70K, then 47K. What the heck happened there?
I'm sure, Michelle, you've been asked out to lunch before and you said, I'd like $10 worth of lunch, and somebody handed you $40,000. It happens every day.
Really? No.
It happens every day. Well, that's because you're not ordering potato salad. So now you'll know the secret to it. No, what happened is, I think this was a joke that he did as something amongst his friends, just to say, look, I'm going to put something up on Kickstarter, and just as a funny thing to pass around. Well, somehow it got passed around and passed around. It got into the media, people started giving him money, and all of a sudden he has $40,000. It's really a funny story when you think about it, but it also shows you that crowdfunding, which is where you go online to get money from people, can explode so quickly, it's frightening. It shows us various things,
but to start off with, why would people give anybody money to buy a potato salad? What is in it for them? I mean, if a random stranger walked up to people on the street and said, hey, can I get some money to buy potatoes and mayonnaise? No one would do this.
Of course not. Of course not. And here's the thing. When you look at it, there are probably 300 other projects, campaigns out there on websites. There's about 30 on Kickstarter right now where people are trying to do the exact same thing, and there's not a single person donating a dollar to them.
Well, those are the copycat ones.
Right.
But when it reaches this level of ridiculousness, if you will, does this indicate that the trend is perhaps nearing a bubble?
No, I don't think so at all. I think this just shows that there is still room for some funny things to go on. But while this kind of crazy thing is going on, there's still very legitimate businesses raising millions of dollars to start a business. There are products that never would have made it to the market without the crowd giving them money to take it to the market. There's still all these things going on. Films getting financed, things that are legit.
Certainly a lot of good projects. Let's talk
Sure.
a little bit about the checks and balances and the regulations. Firstly, before we get into the equity funding, let's talk about the donor situation.
Right.
Which is what? What is that model?
We call that rewards-based crowdfunding,
Right.
and there really are no regulations. As long as you're not committing a criminal act, fraud, states could come in and put you in jail if you do something where you're stealing from someone or committing fraud, but there's no regulations
But
in that
who is
world.
making sure, let's use the potato salad
Right.
example, that these people from overseas, like in Australia, are now getting their promised bit of this potato salad? Who's enforcing that?
No
Who's
one.
looking after the consumer?
No one is enforcing that, and that's what's amazing. If the rewards are not fulfilled, the police could come in, the state attorney general could come in from a state and prosecute the person who put it up. But there's no policing of this. There's no governmental agency that looks over crowdfunding and says, you need to fulfill this. It relies on the crowd, and it relies on the donor, and the websites just take their hands off and go, we don't have anything to do with it.
They take their hands off, but they take their cut of the money raised.
Absolutely. Well, that's how they stay in business.
Well, speaking of the money raised, for legitimate businesses, with all due respect to potato salad guy,
Right.
people that make pledges can then also withdraw those pledges. How does that happen? At what point are you guaranteed of actually getting the funding?
Well, that depends on every site. For example, on Kickstarter, the money is not actually given to the project owner, the person, the potato salad man, until the end of his campaign. So if someone pledges the money and pulls back the pledge, the money doesn't go in.
So there's a time deadline.
And not every site's like that. Some sites, the minute that pledge is made, the money goes to the campaign owner. Kickstarter is one of the few that doesn't do that. So Kickstarter holds the money until the end of the campaign and then transfers it all to the campaign owner.
Let's talk about the more serious side of this, and that's the equity funding.
Right.
Where investors can actually now buy a potential share in this. Where does that stand from a regulatory point of view?
Well, that's why I got into this business. I mean, I actually got into this business because I love potato salad, but I really got into this business to help people start and fund businesses through crowdfunding, because it's really hard for a small startup business to raise that first $100,000 or $200,000 from the general public or from banks in today's world. But crowdfunding, being able to go out to the general public, to the crowd, and say, can you help me start this business? I have a good business idea. I have a great business plan. I have a good management team. I just can't get a bank to loan me $100,000. You go out to the crowd and you get that money from equity.
Where does it stand on a regulatory point of view? We have the SEC. We just said, hey, they're looking into a company that they went from a penny stock to $1 billion. Who is regulating this? Who's looking after the investor?
It doesn't exist right now yet in the United States. Now, in many countries, there's
So is
equity
it buyer
crowdfunding.
beware?
It isn't going on yet in the United States. The Jobs Act is the law in the United States that allows this to happen. It was passed in 2012. We're still waiting for the SEC to say you can actually sell equity. You can sell stock online in a business. Can't do that yet in the United States. Many countries, Italy, UK, Australia, it's happening right now. Not in the United States yet. When it starts, which could be tomorrow, the next day, or whenever, the SEC says, here are the rules you have to follow. They have 585 pages of proposed rules, so it's going to be complicated. But when those come out, then that's when they will regulate it. The SEC will watch over and make sure, just like they do, story we just talked about, someone's a fraud out there, they'll come after you.
What about the return for those equity crowdfunding investors that we've seen internationally? Have we seen people actually yield some results?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. There have been some very good success stories internationally, and there's been, of course, it's a startup business in most cases. Let's remember that. This is no different than you going to your neighbors and saying, I want to start a business in my neighborhood. Can you help me chip in? Friends and family give you money.
Right.
It's a very risky, it's a risky investment. Any type of startup business is. But like everything else, and probably more so with equity crowdfunding, you're going to have a lot of information in front of you. You're going to see videos, you're going to see paperwork, you're going to see things, as opposed to you get a phone call from the Wolf of Wall Street who says, hey, I've got this great business for you to invest in, and they con the money out of you. There's a lot of information in front of you with equity crowdfunding, right online, right in front of you, so the average person can review it and decide whether or not it's a good investment.
Okay, we'll see how that all develops. In the meantime, potato salad for everyone.
That's right. I can't wait to have some.
Thank you so much, Kendall Almerico, CEO of FundHub.biz and Click Start Me, and founder of Crowded Forward.